So by now, you've probably seen the photo that Jerry Falwell Jr. posted on his Instagram account and then promptly deleted. Oops, too late. It's not pretty. Okay, so that's Falwell, the married president of the conservative Christian Liberty University, and an acquaintance of his vacationing on a yacht. Well, as a result of this photo, Falwell's agreed this week to take an indefinite leave of absence from the university at the request of the Board of Trustees. Now, Falwell says, the photo? It was all in good, clean fun at a costume party. And lest you get any other ideas, he claims that's black water in his glass. Only a prop. I kind of hope that last part is not true, because a fourth glass of strong Pinot Noir might at least explain the photo. And look, I am no prude. And if Jerry Falwell wants to stick out his belly and underwear next to a bare midriff Daisy May and post it on Instagram, hey, that's his First Amendment right. More power to him. But why I think it's relevant is because of the widely perceived hypocrisy of it. You see, Liberty University, of which he is president, has a strict code of conduct that would condemn and penalize students for a similar post. In fact, the university requires students to dress with appropriateness and modesty. The students are also prohibited from having sexual relations outside of biblically ordained marriage, and they're banned from engaging with media that contains lewd lyrics, sexual content, and nudity. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the well, maybe not when the goose lays a very public, not-so-golden egg. Now, in fairness, Falwell has apologized. He's even promised his kids that he's going to try to be a good boy from here on out. But one might question that pledge, since this isn't his first Photogate. I mean, Google pool boy, Michael Cohen, and Jerry Falwell Jr., and you'll see what I mean. But I digress. I can hear some of you saying, but there's hypocrisy in all religion. I mean, look at some of the popes. And look, I agree. Lots of religious leaders don't live up to their lofty callings. And that's exactly why Jesus railed against the institutional religion of his day. Against the hypocrisy of the scribes and Pharisees, Jesus said this: do and observe whatever they tell you, but do not follow their example. For they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens and lay them on people's shoulders, but they will not lift a finger to move them. I mean, it's a real warning to all of us, especially those of us in religious leadership. But our religion, it's all about rules that eventually you're going to break anyway. Someone said that to me recently. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, the etymology of the word religion is from the Latin religio, meaning to bind or tie back to, but not in a constricting way, not to lay heavy burdens, but rather to bind us back to the practices of love of God and neighbor, to give us a guidepost to remember who we really are, that we're called to lead with kindness, compassion, and understanding, not with judgment and condemnation, but with inclusion and reparation. So I don't fault Falwell for the photo. I fault him for not walking the talk, his own talk, the talk he expects others to walk. Yeah, we all fail. We all mess up. And that's what forgiveness is about. But we only mature from our failures if we shun arrogance and embrace humility. So here's hoping that Falwell's leave of absence will prove to be a spiritually enlightening time for him. A time when he zips up his big boy pants, and maybe his mouth as well.